Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the Celtics locker room. This is the real thing. No, this is not a set, and that's really Avery Bradley. It's not a stand-in. The outstanding Celtics guard is with us here for our live chat via Facebook, and you can also join the conversation at hashtag Double D Ask Avery. I'm Gary Tangway from Comcast Sportsnet at 98.5 The Sports Hub. So for the next 30 minutes, it's all about Avery, and it's all about you. The first thing I have to ask you is well, I'm not even going to ask you anything. There is no way that locker is that neat. This is for TV, right?
Definitely is for TV.
You must be shocked how neat that is, right?
Yes. When I walked in, that's the first thing I noticed.
He's like, man, my locker's neat.
The whole
All of a
locker
sudden.
room looks neat right now.
Okay, now the
Never like
second
this.
hard-hitting question I have for you is when you make those Dunkin' Donuts commercials that we see throughout the telecast on Comcast Sportsnet, and you smile at the camera, and you sip your Dunkin' Donuts iced coffee, and you turn around and you hit it. Be honest, how many takes?
Two.
Really?
Yeah, maybe
Two takes?
more. But it was something like two.
They got to get you the ball more. I think that's what you should tell Doc is I need to get the ball more because I had that Dunkin' Donuts commercial.
I don't tell Doctor go watch the commercial. Huh?
Yeah. And he may tell you go do something else. So, but a great win over the Miami Heat. The Garden was rocking. It was electric. And just tell us about it.
It was like a playoff game for us, a playoff atmosphere. Before the game, Doc told us that it was going to be like a playoff game. We found out before the game Rondo wasn't going to be playing. He's one of our leaders. It was hard for us going into the game without him, but we knew we needed to go out there and play hard as a team, and that's what we did, and we got the team win. That was our second game in a row going into overtime, so we were a little tired, but we didn't want to let this one go. The game before against Atlanta, we went into double overtime, and they beat us, and we didn't want the same thing to happen, especially against the Heat.
Now, the tough part, of course, you lose Rajon. So what does that mean for the team?
It just means somebody else has to step up. Rajon means a lot to this team. His leadership, his heart. He plays hard every game. A lot of people don't see that. We come into the gym every single day with Rajon, and he has no emotion. When he was hurt before the game, last game, he still wanted to play. We were telling him, no, go check with the trainers, the doctor. And he was like, no, I'm fine. I'm going to play. And to find out that he tore something after the game and he still tried to play, it just shows what kind of guy he is, how much he cares for us, how much he wants to go to battle with us every single game.
Again, you could join the conversation at hashtag WD Ask Avery, DD Ask Avery, or you can do the same on Facebook. You spent 1 year in college, and then all of a sudden you come to Boston. Now, did you have any idea what the Celtic tradition was when you first arrived, and what does it mean to you now?
Not at all. I was very nervous. When I got picked, I told my mom, I said, I'm going to be on the same team as Kevin Garnett. I used to have Kevin Garnett's shoes when I was in like 6th grade. So I was very nervous, but I was excited at the same time. I knew the tradition was big here. I knew the fans were in love with the Celtics here. So I was excited to get here. And when I got here, first person I met was Ray Allen.
Hall of Famer.
I was so nervous. Didn't know what to say. And they kind of joked with me a little bit because I had my ankle surgery during the summertime. So I was already in the training room. And they were like, you haven't played 1 minute in the NBA game and you're already in the training room. So it was nice. When I first got here, my teammates, since day one, they always wanted to help me become a better person and a better person on and off the court. And I feel like since I've been here, I grew into a man. I came here at the age of 18, 19.
Right, a kid.
Yeah, very young, and now I'm 22. So.
Oh, yeah, and you're so old.
So
You're
this
so
is
grown up.
So this
me?
is like my family here. Doc is like a dad to all of us. He helps us out, like I said, on and off the court. So
All right, let's hear from some of your fans out there now. This is from New Bedford via Facebook. I think it's a great question because you are a tremendous defensive player, and a lot of guys want the highlights offensively. But your calling card is lockdown defender, man. It doesn't matter who it is. So, what Dana wants to know is what tips would you give a player if they want to become a good or a better defensive player?
Well, hi, Dana. Um, you know what? I just take a lot of pride on the defensive end. We joke about it, me and my family. I've been a great defender since I was young. I was so good at defense. My brothers are 7 and 8 years older than me. They wouldn't let me play with them. They wouldn't let me, not because I would mess their game up, but because I would steal the ball from everybody. So they wouldn't let me play because they would all get mad. All their friends would get mad because I would just steal the ball from everybody. It's just something that I've always taken pride in because you can have an off offensive game. You might not be making shots. You might mess up a few plays, but on the defensive end, it's just effort. I try to give effort every possession, and that's what makes me a great defensive player.
Do you think it's contagious? Because when you did come back, the team as a whole started to play better defensively.
It definitely is contagious. When my teammates see me picking up a NBA player full court the whole game, it motivates them, just like it would anybody. Even on the offensive end, if you see somebody playing hurt, it motivates you. And for my teammates to see me play hard every single night like that for them, it makes them want to do the same for me.
Again, this is the Ask Avery live chat here from the Celtics locker room. This is it right here at the TD Garden. And you can join the conversation on Twitter at hashtag Double D Ask Avery or on Facebook. And we go to Brianna from Providence, and she wants to know, who is your sports idol?
Sports idol, deadlift strength.
Really?
Yes, I'm from Tacoma, Washington. I grew up a Seattle Sonics fan. Got to meet Detlef Schrempf when I was in 11th grade. His son is in the same grade as me. And I've always been number 11 since I was until I got to college. And it was because of Detlef Schrempf. I just was in love with him.
You know, he's one of the more underrated players in the NBA because I remember him.
Yes,
watching him, and he was
very good.
Yeah, great motor. I mean, a great motor. The guy could
great
move.
Motor.
Yeah,
yes.
he could definitely move. And now Seattle might have a basketball team, so it'd be good for you to go home, right?
Great for me to go home and play in front of my family and friends.
So do you and Jet connect? Because Jason Terry's.
I've known Jason Terry since 6th grade.
Really?
Yes. Probably even before that we met, but we didn't really know each other. My 6th grade year, he knew me because I played on the AAU basketball, which is the summer basketball team that guys play on. His dad started that team. His dad and my AAU coach, who coaches the team now, started that team. And I met Jet in 6th grade, and we make jokes because when I was a 6th grader, I stole the ball from him. And he was the NBA player, and I'm stealing the ball from him. And he said since that day, he knew I had a chance. And we ended up connecting again when I was in 11th grade and at a Reebok tournament. And I was on Team Jason Terry, and he popped up. And
so you must have flipped when he got here.
Yeah, I flipped. That's somebody that growing up, he's a Seattle legend. He's the Seattle basketball player that we all want to be like, him and Jamal Crawford, since we were young.
I mean, two excellent players. Do any of these guys get sick of you saying, you know, when I was in the 6th grade, KG, I had your sneakers. When I was in the 6th grade, I met Jason Terry's in the NBA. Because some of these guys are geezers compared to you.
Yes. A lot of these guys are way older than me. They always clown. And, like, I think Paul came in, 98?
Yeah, 98, 99, yeah.
I was 8 years old. So,
all right,
so it's weird for them. Even when Shaq was here, it was very weird for him. You know, he came in 93 or something like that.
Shaq played 20 years.
I was 3 years old.
Yeah.
So for us to be teammates is crazy. It's something you dream of.
Yeah, I mean, that is crazy. Now you're making me feel really old. Okay, let's join the conversation here. Please feel free to do so at hashtag Double D Ask Avery.
That's my #1 fan right there.
Just say, oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, how does it feel to be known as one of the top ball defenders in the league?
It feels good, especially because I take so much pride in it. You know, to have your opponent be a little worried about you before the game, It makes you feel good about yourself.
And not just any opponent, stars are
Yeah.
worried about Avery Bradley.
Yes, I make a lot of players feel uncomfortable. Everybody at this level are great players, and I say everybody, even the ones that don't play as much, they're still great players. And for me to do what I do, to hear Kevin Garnett tell me that he's never saw anybody play defense like me, that makes me want to work even harder. It's just motivation for me to know that how many great players he's played with,
Sure.
and to say something like that about me, and I'm only 22 years old, that makes me want to continue to work on the defensive end and the offensive end.
All right, more questions. Hashtag DD Ask Avery, and this is from Sean Evers. Who's the hardest working player or hardest person you have to guard, in the league?
Well, Sean, the hardest player I ever guarded in the league, there's a lot. Like I said, there's a lot of good players. Lou Williams is a very good player. Very hard person to guard. He's great. He can great score. But there's a lot. Jamal Crawford. Dwayne Wade's a very good player. You never have a night off.
Right.
There's always a great guard on every single team. So every night I have to go up against a great player.
How do you scout them? What is your preparation?
Before the game, I usually shoot, and then after that, I watch film.
So what are the tendencies you look for?
I look at all their tendencies,
Yeah.
which way they like to go majority of the time.
Left or right, yeah.
There's spots on the court that they like to shoot. I try to make everything hard on them once I find out their tendencies. I try to get them away from those. I try to speed them up. That's what I try to do throughout the game. Just try to make everything harder on them.
So you're not necessarily looking for the steal. You're looking to make them uncomfortable. You want it to be awkward.
Yes, the whole game. The whole game. Even if they're scoring, I want to wear them down throughout the game, because sometimes just because they're scoring, they might not get somebody else involved, and we might win the game. Even though they have 30 points, we might win just because they haven't got anybody else involved and nobody else is making shots and they're not warmed up because they're not getting the ball because this person's shooting the whole time. That's what I try to do, try to speed them up, get them out of their offense.
All right, some more questions for Avery. Ask Avery here in the Celtics locker room at the TD Garden. And Ronnie asked, are you ready to step up and accept a bigger role on this team? If so, what do you plan to do to help in Rajon's absence? Of course, you've been asked about Rajon a lot, I'm sure, of the last 24 hours, but I'm sure it's on your mind.
Yeah, it's hard to fill his shoes. He's a very good point guard. I don't think there's any point guard in the NBA that can do what Rondo does. But one thing I'm going to do is go out there and play as hard as I can. I know I'm going to feel comfortable and be okay if I play hard because of my team. My team makes me feel comfortable out there. Even if I get a little nervous because it's hard being a starting point guard in this league, I'll be fine with KG and Paul, Courtney Lee, all those guys next to me every single game. So I'm not really worried about it. All I can do is focus on playing hard every single game.
It's dangerous, and I've seen other players do it when they try to be something they're not.
Exactly. You have to just go out there and play your game and play hard.
Right.
When you play hard, everything else works itself out.
All right, this is from Daryl J. Again, join the conversation on Twitter at hashtag DDAskAvery, or feel free to do so on Facebook as well. What is your favorite basketball moment? High school, college, NBA, AAU?
There, I would have to say high school. I have two moments that stood out to me, and that's the McDonald's All-American Dunk Contest,
Yep.
which I won. I wanted to be a McDonald's All-American since I started playing basketball. That's every kid's dream. McDonald's All-American is a game that they hold in different states every single year.
It's been at the Garden.
It has?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
It was a while ago, but yes.
Yeah, they hold it everywhere. My year was in Miami. They hold it every year, the best high school players. And I was accepted to it, and I won a dunk contest. And that was one of the greatest moments in my high school
You were the creme de
career.
la creme.
In high school?
Yeah, I mean, well, that McDonald's game, I mean, you're with the 20 best players in the country?
Yeah, yeah, you are
Yeah.
with the best players. And then I played for Finley Prep, high school team, and I never got a chance to win a state championship. My 3 years in Tacoma, Washington, I never won. My senior year, I moved to Vegas, went to school there for 1 year, and we won the national championship. We went 32-0, and we were the best team in the nation. So um, that was the best moment ever, being able to win a national championship.
Let's hear from Alexa on Twitter. Avery, what were you studying in college before you got drafted?
Um, well, I was undecided. I only did 1 year in college,
Right.
so when I was there, I just did the required classes.
Was that a tough decision to go pro, or is it something you wanted? You said, man, I'm in.
It is a tough decision for the simple fact my mom wanted me to stay in school. Obviously, my parents' education is first for them. It was a tough decision for me, but I had to do what was best for me and my family. And at that time, I felt like taking my game to the next level was the best thing for me.
You never looked back, never regretted
Never
it.
look back. You can't. You can't. You have to continue to want to keep getting better. I never looked back. There's a few times I wanted to go back to school, which I might do, but it's kind of hard,
When you're playing.
when you're playing. I thought about it my rookie year because I wasn't playing as much. Thought about doing online classes, but it's so hard now during the summertime because you have to find that perfect balance
full-time
between.
job. You gotta
Yeah, it
train in the
is.
summer.
You have to train, and then that's what I'm saying. You have to
Yeah.
find that perfect balance
Right.
between training and schoolwork. So it's hard, but hopefully in the future I'll be able to, go back to school, University of Texas.
Of course. Right? Hook 'em horns. This is from Jesse from Twitter. Who are some of your best friends in the league? Let's go non-Celtic players because we know that, you got your guys in this locker room on other teams.
I'm pretty close with Dexter Pittman. We went to college together. He plays for Miami Heat. He's a good friend of mine. A lot. All the Seattle guys. A long list. From Aaron Brooks to Rodney Stuckey, we're all close. We all work out together during the
They call
summertime.
it the 206?
Yeah, 206. That's what they call us.
Because Donnie Marshall works on television with.
Yeah, Donnie Marshall's actually from Federal Way, Washington, which is
It's a little spooky. You guys know a lot about each other. I mean, it's really like a cult. It's seriously like you see some guy from 206. It's a cult thing. It's a club.
It really is.
Yeah.
Like we all know each other, and basketball up there is it's pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, it's good they're getting a team.
Yeah, I'm happy they're getting a team. It's going to be good for us. But all the Washington guys, Dexter Pittman, a lot of the guys in my draft class,
Right.
we are pretty close, all around the same age, so tend to do the same things.
All right. More questions. This is from Nina. What game has been the biggest game for you in the NBA? Perhaps maybe the one on Sunday yesterday.
That was definitely one of them.
Yeah.
But the biggest game, that's a good question.
The Knicks game I thought was a big game. You went down to New York and won. Here you have the Miami game here.
Yeah, probably the Knicks game, my first game in Madison Square Garden, or even my first game in the Staples Center. Both of those games are big because the atmosphere. It's it's like you're on a stage performing.
Oh, you are.
You really
you are, man.
We are
not like-
every single night
Yeah.
on a stage, but when you're there, you literally feel like you are because the crowd, the lights dimmed on the crowd, and so the atmosphere is it's so cool. I love it.
All right, this is from Brandon. What's your vertical?
Brandon, you know what? In high school, I probably had like a 40-something inch vertical. Probably it's like 40, somewhere around there. When I was in the draft, it was 40. So it's probably the same.
It's pretty
Not
good,
high.
needless to say. This is from Facebook, and you can join the conversation on Facebook or at hashtag DDAskAvery here as we're in the Celtics locker room. Joseph from Boston asks, if not for basketball, what other profession would you choose?
Well, Joseph, and when I was in high school, when I was in middle school, I lived in Texas. That's when I fell in love with University of Texas. I was actually a better football player than basketball player. I think that's what makes me so tough when I'm out there on the court. I've been playing football since third grade. I started basketball in first grade. When I was in third grade, I played on the sixth grade team. I've always played.
Were you bigger or just faster?
I was just stronger and faster.
And a will.
Yes, and I had that will and that heart since I was young. And when I moved down to Texas, football's huge in Texas.
Yeah.
And I'm a Washington kid where our number one sport is basketball. Moving down to Texas, and I stood out there, became a very good football player.
What was your position?
I played every position.
Of course you did.
Every position. I would have been a football player if it wasn't for basketball. My mom actually made me stop playing football.
Because to focus on basketball?
To focus on basketball. To focus on basketball because I started getting really good at basketball.
Right. This is from Filippo. I met you, I met you, Courtney, and Jeff in Milan, and you signed my Celtics hat. What did you like about this experience in Italy?
Italy was amazing. We got to go shopping. Me, Jeff, and Courtney, actually, we all went to shopping together. It was just fun to be able to see that we have fans everywhere.
Yeah, it's an international game.
It's amazing. It's amazing to see how far basketball has gotten. We had so much fun over there as a team. It helped us bond and become closer together.
What about the food?
Food, it was good. It was good, but I'm a picky eater, so I don't like that. I like
not as good
certain
as
kind of foods.
As a Dunkin' Donuts bagel. How about that?
Definitely not.
This is Lee, who has a question for Avery. How do you spend the off season? You kind of touched on it a little bit, but go into greater detail.
You know what? I have a problem during the off season. I don't like to take breaks, which isn't good. Yes, I like to work out every single day. When you shouldn't. Mentally, you need that break right after the season. But I like to go right after it because in Seattle, there's nothing else to do but play basketball. Unfortunately, the last few summers, I've been hurt and haven't been able to do anything during the summertime. But during the off season, I usually spend time with my family, my girlfriend.
Do you like movies, music?
Yeah, but not during the summertime. I do that more during the season.
Yeah.
Of course, I listen to music during the season and during my off time. But the movies, I don't really go to the movies that much during the summertime. I like to spend time with my family a lot and my girlfriend and work out every single day. There's nothing else to do when I'm back home in Seattle. Like literally, there's nothing else to do. We play basketball all day, every single day.
Well, it sounds like that's what you love to do.
I'm
sure you could find something, but that's what you want to do.
I love it, and I travel. Me and my family usually take a trip to get together somewhere.
Well, like where? Where's the? I mean, you loved Italy. Where else?
My second year, which was last summer, we went to St. Martin, and it was amazing. We had the best time together. So that's what I like to do during the summer. Right when the season ends, I usually travel, get that out the way so I can focus back on basketball.
All right. More questions. This one from Facebook. Stacy from Norwood. What's your favorite band or musician?
Favorite band? That's a good question. I love music. I'm the one on the team that everybody knows going to have the newest music.
Well, because you're the youngest.
Yes, that's why. That's probably why. I love, you know what? I love rap music. I like R&B music, but I'm more of a rap guy. I like a lot of the West Coast rappers. I listen to a lot of them. I like my favorite would probably be Drake. I love Drake. I love his music. Very good artist.
Now, some NBA players also think they're musicians or vocalists.
Yeah.
Like Meta World Peace. We're going to see an Avery Bradley album someday?
No. I'm gonna stick to
No. Okay.
I'm gonna stick to basketball.
All right, this is from David. Do you have a pregame meal or ritual? If so, what is it?
Not really. A lot of players
You're not
do.
superstitious or anything? No?
Not at all. I used to be, but I'm It's not very consistent. So I just before the game, I used to listen to music when I was in high school and stuff. Now I just do whatever. I just prepare myself mentally before the game.
Do you?
Sometimes I might
vision?
zone out. I
Zone out.
vision the game.
Yeah.
I usually go into the locker room. I lift. Go into the training room. Come back in the locker room. I might sit here for 10 minutes and read the scouting report and might zone out and just vision the game. I do that every single game. That's probably the only thing I do. But besides that, I just kind of have fun before the game. Prepare myself, but have fun with my teammates.
Right.
Enjoy this time.
Did you have you had a teammate who's had like this crazy routine? Now we know Ray used to show up at like 10 in the morning and start shooting. But any other teammates who had a crazy ritual?
Yeah, Ray stood out. KG.
Yeah.
He does the same thing every single game.
He doesn't talk either, right?
No, doesn't talk, won't smile, won't crack a joke before the game. It doesn't matter who it is.
Right.
It could be another vet that might try to crack a joke with him. He won't laugh. He might tell them to move out the way. That's just how he is. Paul, it changes every single game. It's just KG. He's the only one.
Yeah.
Brandon Bass. He kind of picked it up, I think, from Ray when Ray was here. So he does the same thing before every game. He shoots just like Ray before the game, same time.
All right, this is from Chris. Again, hashtag DDAskAvery. Also join the conversation on Facebook. Chris is in Australia.
Hi,
Terrific.
Chris.
Thanks for
Australia.
joining us.
That's cool.
What team is the toughest to play on the road?
Toughest team on the road. That is
Golden State's a tough building,
It is.
which a lot of people are amazed at. Because
I would say Denver.
Denver?
Their fans are wild, and not only that, the high altitude. So it's a little different.
It's a factor. Coaches will say it isn't, but it's a factor.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is a factor.
Okay. Again, this is from Facebook. Heather from Somerville. Whose lockers are next to yours in the locker room? So we'll get a little play-by-play here.
Well, we got Paul Pierce. He's right next to me. Leandro Barbosa. Rondo. Courtney Lee. This is our whole little corner
This
right
is the
here.
corner over here.
Yeah. This is us right here. I've been here since my rookie year. Kendrick Perkins used to be right here. Rondo took his locker.
Took his locker.
Yeah, and
then
Sasha was here last year.
Yeah, and they got the posts. They got their posters
they have
above all the lockers
Yep.
that they have. This is from Kayla. This is a great question. Why the number 0?
That is a great question. I picked the number 0 because I've always been the person since I was young that had to work for everything I got. I was kind of like the 0. I was the person that never stood out to somebody, that never was recognized for anything I've done. It's similar to the Gilbert Arenas story. Whoever heard about him?
Yeah.
It's similar. He's part of the reason I chose it too, because I felt the same way he felt. And another thing, me and my best friends from home, it's 3 of us. We've been playing basketball together since 1st grade. We all are number 0. One goes to community college. One plays for University of Washington.
Give him a shout out.
Abdul Gaddy and Darnell Williams. Those are my best friends. We're all number 0.
Avery, we're glad you're here in Boston. Congratulations on the win in Miami. And Dunkin' Donuts would like to thank you for being a terrific spokesperson. That's going to do it for the live chat. Ask Avery. Avery, you've been great. I know people have enjoyed it. And thank you for sending in your questions for Avery Bradley, everybody. And remember, America runs on Dunkin'. And only 2 takes for that shot during the game. 2.